All right, let's review this hand. This is the March from Hell, so we continue here. So I don't remember the exact blind depth, but I had about 60,000 to start. So something like probably like 70 big blinds, maybe less. So this guy opens to oh this is Brandon Cantu. I think he has a bracelet and a WPT. He's like a lifer in the poker world. He was playing pretty well. I didn't see anything that was like, blowing me away, but it seemed like in general he was playing well. I'm not going to be able to do justice to these blinds because I don't have a tournament setting for Snowy that I'm aware of. But this will just give you a sense of the hand. So it's small blind, big blind, and a big blind ante. So there should be $10 more in the middle. He makes it maybe like, say, oops, let's say like 23. It's something like 2.3 in that range. This is Brandon. Um, he has me covered. There's a player here who's super, super passive all day. Very nice guy. I actually have a hilarious story about something unrelated to poker that happened with him, but I'll save that for another time. He flats and he can have like nonsense here, but he can also have like ace king because he just treats everything as a flat or a limp. It's just the way he chose to approach this. Um, it folds to me on the button. I have 8 of spades, 8 of diamonds. Um, I'm gonna make my stacks. Let's say I have like around 700, maybe a little more. I can't quite remember. It's enough where if I squeeze and get ripped, I'm in a really, really ugly spot. So I didn't want to squeeze because if I 3-bet and just like ace king finds a shove, which I think it will, especially with like a solid tournament pro like this, I think I'd probably have to fold for this many bigs, and I'm not dying to do that. So I decided to flat. And a lot of the spots I played, like, I feel like in my recent tournament experiences, it's a lot of like, I have hands that are very playable, but I'm always in between like tough decisions. It's very rarely just like a knockout, like, man, I just get to value bet this for heaps and like hope he calls. So I feel like I've been kind of hard on myself with these tournaments and I want better results, obviously, but then I'm also like, I don't feel like I'm screwing up a lot of spots. I feel like there's just like a lot of marginal spots where I'm probably leaning towards the bluffier line, which like maybe I shouldn't bluff quite as much. I don't know. Maybe I'm over bluffing because I'm like getting a little impatient. But it feels like in general, I'm taking a little more high variance route in a lot of these spots. It then goes call, call. Um, the flop is 5 of clubs, 6 of clubs, 5 of spades. So an interesting thing happens. It goes check, check. This player, player 4, let me make sure. Yeah, you guys can see this, hopefully. Player 4, we'll call him old dude. He checks out of turn, and then Brandon hadn't acted yet. So he checks out of turn. The dealer's like, no, sir, it's actually this player to act. So then Brandon's in this spot where I don't know if you guys have seen this happen with in live situations, but I feel like someone is more likely to continuation bet given that action. It doesn't mean he wasn't going to c bet anyway. Maybe he is, but uh, c betting, like when someone checks out of turn and then it's like, oh no, it was on me. I think people are then embarrassed to be like, okay, I check anyway. It didn't matter because they feel like they've invested their sort of mental energy into being like, you skipped my turn. So then they are way more likely to c bet. So that's not why I made this play. I think I was going to do it anyway, but he does c bet, and I think that that slightly affected the situation. So he c bets very small. He c bets to like 30, I think. And again, his bet was probably 3,000 in the tournament for context at like a blind structure where he would have opened to 2,200. So it's probably 500, 1,000. He probably made it like 2,300. his 3-bet on the flop is 3K into 5-way 2,300, which is 10 and change. So let's say it's probably like an 11K pot. Okay, so I'm doing it okay here, and he bets like 3,000, so we'll bet 30. This guy folds. I thought that if I just flat here, first of all, like I give both of these players an extremely good price to just rip on me as a bluff. Especially like the big blind who has like literally any two cards. Like big blind can have like Jack 5 offsuit given the price they're getting here. So like if I'm this player and she was like, I think she's a pro, I can't really tell. She definitely was like giving the vibes of like I play a lot of poker. Not sure if her game actually backed it up, but definitely seems capable is the point. If anything, maybe too capable in the sense of like just taking some lines that didn't make a lot of sense. Point being, if I flat here, I'm very vulnerable to get bluffed. And also, like, say Brandon has like whatever pocket kings. There's a lot of runouts where I probably am just like stacking off. I also think I can get overcards to fold here on like a relatively wet board. So I really like a raise here. He made it 3,000. I made it 8,000. So something like this. Which it's a little, I mean, it achieves a couple of things. Number one, it protects my equity. So if he has a hand like ace king, or say he has like ace queen with the ace of clubs, something like that, and it does continue, I am protecting my equity, which is nice. It also gets a lot of cards to just fold. It also allows me to see some free rivers if I want to. Like say the turn is like a 7 of diamonds and I would prefer to just check back. It allows a lot of those options. So I raise, and it goes fold, fold, call. The turn is a queen of hearts, which is not a great card for me. He can definitely have pocket queens. He can have ace queen with the ace of clubs, or just ace queen of clubs. Maybe ace queen of spades also continues. But I can still have for sure pocket sixes. For sure, like not for sure, but I think I can have like ace 5 of diamonds here. I can probably have 5 6 of diamonds. I can maybe have 4 5 of diamonds. I'm not sure I'm calling with that pre-flop, but it's possible that he perceives that I'm calling with that. So sorry guys, the cough is brutal, I realize. All of those hands though strangely don't mind checking. Especially on the queen. If the turn here is like 4, I'm probably more inclined to continue betting. Or if the turn is a club and I think that my hand needs to bluff, I will probably continue betting. I think on this particular turn, I think a check back is fine. Also, like, if you think about what my range is here, like 7 8 of clubs, 9 10 of clubs, ace 10 of clubs, ace jack of clubs, ace deuce of clubs, ace 3 of clubs, ace 4 of clubs, all these club combos, maybe like queen jack of clubs, queen king of clubs, jack 10 of clubs. A lot of those hands want to check this turn. They can barrel and I guess like try to get aces to fold, but I think they want to just take their equity here now that he's called the flop and probably just see a river. Especially because like if jack 10 of clubs is bluffing flop, it's presumably doing so thinking that it has the 6 outs to the jacks and 10s. And once the turn is a queen, I think it's a less appealing bluff, at least in my view. I'm not really sure if that's true theoretically, but just when I saw this turn, I was like, most of my range wants to check here. So it goes check, and I decided to check back. It looks like Snowy thinks both are fine. They're about the same EV. Check. The river is a jack of clubs. I'm going to give my explanation before I see what Snowy says because I don't want it to affect me. Not that, I mean, it's so different in a tournament, obviously. So he checks to me. And I think it's extremely hard for me to have nothing here. And the reason for that is like, if I have 7 8 on the turn, let's just say I am purely bluffing flop with no value whatsoever, right? Let's just say like, or no showdown value, I should say. Let's say I have like 7-8 of diamonds. I know I said my range wants to check a lot on the turn, but I think I'm barreling the turn, right? With like 7-8 of diamonds. I mean, maybe not. Maybe it checks back. I guess my point is like all the combos of value that I'm bluffing with on the flop kind of get there on this river. My hand is either some weird 5 that decided to check the turn, pocket 6s, which is nutted enough that it can totally check the turn. I think I can even have pocket jacks, which finds a raise on the flop and for sure checks the turn. Now I'm have gin obviously on the river when I hit my 2 outer, and then like it's really really hard for me to have pure air here. And I think he's gonna have like pocket 7s for sure. I mean, I don't need to bluff against 7s obviously, but like pocket 9s. So pocket 8s, I know there's only one combo, should be folding. Pocket 9s should be folding. Pocket 10s should be folding. Uh, and I honestly thought he would fold kings and queens here, or sorry, kings and aces, because like I just don't have any bluffs. Like, what the fuck am I bluffing with here? Once the jack of clubs hits, so I decided to bet pot basically. It wasn't quite pot. It was under pot. It was an amount that I was like, if I have ace 10 of clubs here, what would I bet? It was probably something like, I think I bet like 23,000 on the river into, it was like 26 or 27. Yeah, I guess just this times 10 basically, or times 100. Oh shit, sorry, I did this wrong. So he checks, and we should, yeah, it looks like Snowy checks. I mean, betting's not bad. It looks like it's decent as a bluff. It likes it less for, it wants to bet small though. So I guess it's betting. The fuck is it betting small for? I don't really understand why it would bet small. Because you're not getting called by ace high. Maybe because it's so hard to have bluffs, it actually is betting small with the intention of getting. I'm not sure. Let's say I bet half pot. I'm curious what it's doing here. It's calling with kings and aces and all the clubs, obviously. What's it folding? Oh, it's folding red aces. Okay, this makes me feel way better. All the hands that I am targeting are in this fold range for Snowy. All right, I'm glad I checked this then. So this is the real problem with this hand is like he has the ace of clubs in his aces. And I just straight up didn't think about that, honestly. It didn't cross my mind that I think kings with the king of clubs probably folds because I still have a million flush combos. Specifically, aces with the ace of clubs takes out so much of my value range. So he tank called and like threw in the one chip, kind of like, you got it. And I literally said to him, I was like, nice call. Like, I did not think you would call it that hand. He has aces with the ace of clubs. And I think now that I see like Snowy's folding, yeah, look at this. It's calling, but it's like barely plus EV. It's like such a small call. Um, that makes a lot of sense because it's just one of those spots. Like it's what we talk about. Like if we're bluffing in a spot where it's so hard to have bluffs, I feel like in general that's a good place to be. Um, like it requires me to turn a made hand into a bluff here, which I did, but just frustrating that it has to be the exact ace of clubs. So if we just make this like a diamond, then it becomes a fold. Or if it's literally dead even. That's interesting. Well, we found the margin, boys. Yeah. Oh, it's so frustrating, man. Just give me the right fucking combo of aces and I'm get it through. Anyway, yeah, it's this makes me feel better reviewing this. Like it's obviously these are the types of spots for what it's worth it when I finish these tournaments. I'm like, did I misplay this? And it's like if these are the types of spots that I have to get like perfect, like maybe I should be jamming river. I don't know, but like I don't know how I'm repping a flush if I'm jamming river because a flush doesn't really want to jam. It's just asking. maybe the nut flush wants to jam, but like 7-8 of clubs doesn't want to jam because it's just asking better hands to fold. Um, sorry, better hands to call and worse hands to fold. So I don't know, man. Like I'm frustrated by this, but also when I check this, I'm like, these are the spots that I'm like, I'm turning fucking pocket eights into a bluff against a WPT bracelet winner. Like it's not like I'm, you know, it's not like I'm like figuring out how to value bet with aces here. It's all just like these super marginal spots that I'm choosing a bluffy or a high variance line, and maybe that's causing me to get out earlier. But also like I don't know, that's how I play poker, so kind of okay with it. It is just frustrating to just keep bricking these, but still only like probably 5 live tournaments in like the last, or maybe 10 in like the last year and a half. I mean, it's just not that many. So anyway, all right. Sorry for the rambling. I hope this made sense. I just wanted to send you guys this. We need to dodge the club, but it's March, man. We're just getting crushed this month. So we got to bounce back, boys. Let's do it.